In this question we're going to use Sophie Shoes cash payments journal, and we're going to use the information in the journal and post it to the ledger. Notice over here that we haven't got any chart of accounts numbers, so we want to put those in as we go. But we're just going to concentrate on the posting today. For cash payments journal, if you get the first part right, the rest is easy. Cash payments journal, the impact on bank is going to be a credit. So I want to type credit there to show that their bank account is going to be credited. Then everything else we type debit, DR. You can copy that and debit down the bottom of all the other columns except the sundry. We need to go debit. I'm just going Control V. Down everything in the sundry column. Now we've done that, hopefully we don't have to think too much. Next thing that we're going to do is going to put in the balance. So the balance is for the week ending 21st. So it starts off the 18th of February, 18/2, and just type balance. Okay, we'll copy that, Control C, paste it, paste all the way down. And wages. Good. So we're going to put the opening balance. The opening balance comes from the trial balance here. So click equals. We've got bank, GST, drawings, purchases, electricity, interest, loan, and wages. What we do need to do is make sure that we give them the right. So bank's an asset, so it's going to be a debit balance. GST's a liability, credit. Drawings, debit. Copy that one. Purchases, debit. And it's just our loan that's going to be the other credit. Alright, if too fast, just don't forget to press pause and catch up, then play again. Opening balance is in a lot of the way there already. Then what we're going to do is at the end of the month, 21st of February, end of the week, we're going to post the other balances. One's down the bottom first, and then one's on the side. So we'll put the 21st of February. And in the bank, we don't type bank, this is a payment, so we type payments. Payments are going to decrease our bank account, and it says credit here, it tells us to put in the credit column there. Type equals, click on the amount, and so we had 13,000. If I go this way, it'll give a negative number. We don't want a negative, so I'm going to do the other way, and it is now a credit balance or a liability. I've spent more money than I had in my account, so that's now a liability. GST, end of the month, because it's got its own column, and all of these are going to say bank. So GST, I've got a credit there, got a debit here. Because it says debit, I debit it up here. Again, because the debit's higher than the credit, we'll swap them around. And we've claimed back more GST than what we owed. So the government will owe us, this becomes an asset. See, bank and GST, they can swap sides. Drawing's own column of its own there, so 21st of the 2nd, end of the month. And bank tells us we're going to debit it by 600, so on the debit column. A debit plus another debit, so we'll add those two together. Purchases, we've got end of the month, own column. And we type equals, bottom figure, it says debit there, so we'll debit it here. Done. Alright, so that's all these bottom columns. I'm just going to highlight all those just to show I've done them all. And then I'll come to these side ones. Now in the sundry column, what we do is we use the date that it happened. First one's equipment, so that's down somewhere. No. Can you find it? Can't find it, so we're just going to open up a new account what I've done is highlighted the wages. I'll do that again. So highlight wages, hold your control key down and just pull it down. That'll give us a new ledger, and we'll type equipment. Alright, it has a balance. Equipment there. And it is debit, so that's what we want. Right, so it tells us the equipment on the 18th. Right, the day that it happened, it's already there. Type bank. All these are debit, so we're going to debit in here. Type equals. Click on that 430. We had $84,000 worth of equipment. We added another 430, and it's still an asset, still a debit. Done. Now, because equipment here is in the sundry column, we need to put the chart of accounts number. Current assets tell us assets are 100, so we might make that 120. So we'll put 120 there and 120 there. Next one down is this one, GST. It's a liability, so I'll give it a 220 as a number. Here's our GST. Oh, I've done that already. But this one's a bit different. This GST is not in the GST column, if you notice. It's in the sundry column. That's because we've paid our GST off. So, in here, I'm just going to move that down, highlight and just drag down. And I'm going to put here the date that happened on the 20th of February. Again, type bank. And I've debited it by that amount. So I had 1171.32. And what happens in the next one is I paid it off. So it's actually a zero balance because I paid off what I owed. And then I claimed back. So the government owes me $2,383.19. So I've done that one. Yep, I've done that one. Yep. Next one is electricity. Electricity is an expense. I'll give it a number. Perhaps 420. Electricity 420. Right, I've got a balance at the start. The date that I bought electricity was the 20th of Feb. 20/2. Type bank. And I've said there I'm going to debit it by 196 in the debit column, or 195. Add the two up. So I started with 2,736 of electricity. I added another 195, so I added on. Now loan's a bit different. A loan, we've paid $900 off the loan. So, and that was on the 21st. Type in bank. And it tells us again to debit the loan. So I did owe 48,000. I've paid off 900. A credit and a debit is a lower credit. So now I owe 47,100. Still credit, still a liability. A number, I need a liability number. So I'll put 230 and also put 230 here. So I'm referencing from here down to the bottom. And last one is interest. And interest still the same date, 21st of the 2nd. Bank. And again, debit column. Highlighted both of those. My interest, I had paid 110 and I paid another 461. So the interest I have paid, is 571.27. No wages yet? No. Oh, I have. So wages, I've got an opening balance. Bank. And I've debited wages by this amount. Referencing all the time. I had that amount to start with. I added some more. So my wages have gone up to 64,000. Alright, and so that's all you have to do. Done. Just check I've done all of those. And I've done all of these. Perfect. Good job.